Snow filling my vestibule. There has been a series of events. Fair play to Henry, he replied both in my video and to me via email. I think that's about lesson number 2 in wild camping in winter. Yes, I can build a snow wall. Should I really have to? In a 4-season, to what was me at the time, £600 tent? I don't think you should. Hello YouTube, it's the weekend and guess what? I'm back out camping. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, it's great as always to have you join me once again. And if you're a new viewer of the channel, welcome to A Cumbrian Lad Outdoors. I've just parked up in the village of Hayeswater. You can see there's a little car park. If you turn into Hayeswater and just follow the road, it brings you straight to it. If that is full, failing that, you can get parked down near Brothers Water. I'm heading out solo today to what I believe is the Lake District's least known reservoir, and that is Hayeswater. Not to be confused, especially in my accent, with Hayeswater. You can see it's very misty. There is the tiniest amount of snow left on the tops, and it is a chilly 5.5 Celsius, which is a good deal warmer than my last 2 camps. There's also a sign at the car park saying that there's a bridge out somewhere up here. Hopefully that won't cause me too many problems. Time to get a few steps in for the day and get up to that reservoir, have a look around, see if I can find myself a nice pitch for the night. We're just coming through this gate here, and there is another sign there about the bridge being damaged, and at some point we've got to take a left. Could be that one. Normally I will go that way, but the little map's not too clear at all. There's a group of people coming that looks like they've come from the reservoir, so I'm going to double check with them, and fingers crossed I can go the way that I know. And that mist is coming down that little bit of a valley straight at me. It's quite impressive to see that. And that group have confirmed that even though the bridge is down, we can still get across just after where the bridge was. I'm just coming up to an old building. I think it must be some kind of filter house or pump house. And we've got a jet of water coming out. Lovely little river meandering its way down the valley. 1 minute I think that mist's clearing, as you can see behind me, and then the next minute you see that coming at you. Fingers crossed it ain't going to be too bad up at the reservoir. Oh, starting to warm up a bit now. A little bit steep that bit, but as you can see we're levelling off a bit now. We are starting to see a little bit more leftover snow behind. I'm just looking down on that lovely little beck and another pump house. I can just and so make out Brothers Water by eye. I'm not sure the camera will. I'll grab a quick drink of water here and then I'm going to push on. And we're not far off the top now. I can just see the reservoir now. 5-10 minutes we'll be there. Now the purpose of today's video is actually threefold. 1, to get a wild camp in. 2, I wanted to recce out a route for another couple of summits that are close by to here to tick off when the weather's slightly better. And 3 is to talk with you guys about the TarpTent Scarp 1, the normal Scarp and the Ultra. Since my camp on Great Mel Fell, where I woke up at 3 in the morning to snow on top of my inner and snow filling my vestibule, there has been a series of events. Firstly, when I got home, there was a little message from Kat from Wildcat Adventures. Oh, we'll open that. Let's have a look, see what Kat's been up to. Little video, clicked on that. Would you believe it? Kat's vestibule a foot deep in snow in her scarp. So the first thing that goes through my head is, I'm not the only one. There is an issue. There is one issue with the TarpTent Scarp 1, and that is when it snows. So what did I do? I emailed Henry Shires from TarpTent. I sent him a link to the video and asked him to watch it, give it his full attention. And fair play to the man, he did. He left me a message on there and he also replied to my email. We've arrived at Hayeswater. Look at this. Beautiful. Yes, fair play to Henry, he replied both in my video and to me via email. Now I'm an honest lad. I wasn't in it for name calling. I wasn't in it for bringing TarpTent's name down, calling the Scarp one a crap tent, anything like that. All I was doing was raising awareness for what I believe to be an issue with that tent. Now, as far as I was aware, the TarpTent Scarp 1 Ultra was supposed to come closer to the ground than the original sil nylon version. A big thank you to Henry Shires for letting me know via email that that is in fact not the case. I will hold my hand up. I cannot remember where I heard that piece of information. I was adamant it was true. It is not. Henry assures me that nowhere on any of their social media does it say that the Ultra comes closer to the ground than the original. So my bad, hands up, I was wrong. Henry did apologise that I woke up to a vestibule full of snow, but he said that the idea is to build a snow wall around the side of that tent that is facing the wind. Which I knew already. If your tent doesn't come to the ground and the snow around, then you build a snow wall. I think that's about lesson number 2 in wild camping in winter. However, I did point out to Henry that when I got up there was only a light dusting of snow, and as a second thought to that, it was frozen solid as well. Henry seems to think that I could have made a snow wall when I got up there. I was the man up there. I'm telling you, there's no chance. No chance. I'm going to put Kat's clip in the video here because I deem it appropriate. You can see just how much worse Kat's vestibule was than mine, and when Kat got in a tent there was no snow around at all. So a very similar situation to mine. I did have snow, very little, and frozen. Kat had none. The snow come while I was asleep and while Kat was in a tent, and she was asleep by the time it was deep enough to build a snow wall. So as long as there's snow on the ground when you get to your pitch, you're fine. So I pointed out to Henry, look, you need to make a version of this tent that comes to the ground. In my opinion, it's the Scarp's only weakness. Now, there was another YouTuber, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, I'll pop it on screen if I remember, who pitched his Scarp in error and it got ripped in the wind. Now, I actually took part in the live conversation between himself and Henry Shires, and I asked the question then, why doesn't the Scarp go to the ground? And Henry responded, it's for ventilation. Now, as I've said before, I'm a grown adult, I'm a grown man, 50 years of age. If that tent goes to the ground and it's cinchable, I can lift it up as required. I can choose when I want ventilation and when I want it to go all the way to the ground, so I don't wake up with snow inside my tent. Henry did kind of change tack on that one, and he said it was because of the laminate that the Ultra's made of and the sil nylon that the normal Scarp one's made of is susceptible to rubbing from sharp things on the ground. So I replied again, look, there's an issue with this tent. Told him Hilleberg with the Solo, it goes straight to the ground, there's no issue there, you need to make the Scarp go to the ground. He come back saying, you know, again that the laminate fibres are susceptible to wearing. I suggested lining it with something, put a hem on the bottom so it can't rub on the ground, or I even suggested there's got to be some kind of meet in the middle point, make something like a snow belt that you can attach to the Scarp that goes to the ground, because yes, I can build a snow wall. Should I really have to in a 4-season to what was me at the time £600 tent? I don't think you should. And to be fair to Henry, he did say that the snow belt is something that they might look at. So basically I thought it was turning into a little bit of an argument, which is not what I was after. I was simply wanting to raise an issue as a user of TarpTent products, a product that I love, by the way. I absolutely love my Scarp one. You know, it was turning into a bit of an argument, and that wasn't what I was wanting. So I said to Henry, look, if you make the snow skirt, I'll be happy to get one. You know, it needs something for sure. I still think that they need to make a version of the Scarp one that goes all the way to the ground. Let us have the option of cinching it up so we can have extra ventilation if we need. Just put a liner on the bottom of the hem, so that's going to be more durable and it's not going to rub the tent material itself. So the big question is, will Henry Shires and TarpTent listen to somebody that actually uses their product in the conditions that it's designed for and has raised a genuine issue? Right, let's see if I can go and find myself a pitch for the night. I've just had a wander around and I've had to put my hat and my coat on because that wind is a bit chilly, it's biting through. Yeah, just one last thing on the Scarp. When I referenced the Hilleberg Solo to Henry, he was saying, you know, comparing it to the Hilleberg Solo, it's basically a different beast. And I wasn't comparing it to the Hilleberg Solo. I was simply saying that if Hilleberg can do it, TarpTent can do it. You know, I admire Henry's enthusiasm and backing up his product 100%. I appreciate it, mate. But like I say, you know, that tent needs to come down to the ground, or it needs something to stop that snow getting in the tent. That fog is getting lower and lower. You can see it's very undulating here. There's lots of lumps and bumps. But just above the shoreline, just before the river exits the reservoir, on top of one of those little mounds, I found myself the perfect pitch for the night. It is coming up on 2:30 at the moment, so it is way too early to be setting my tent up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the chair out, I'm going to sit my backside down and enjoy myself a nice cold drink. I've been sat out for a good bit now and time is ticking on and the temperature's dropping. The old fingertips are pretty numb, so I've decided to get the tent up. I'm really happy with the pitch for tonight in the Scarp 1 Ultra, just above the reservoir. And that fog just isn't clearing. Due to the lay of the land, I'm actually the wrong way about in my tent. So this is the head end where the pockets are, but it's sloping that way, so I've had to put my head this end. Usual suspects in there, the City Summit Etherlite XT Extreme Mat and my OEX Leviathan EV900. We've got homemade 4 chili lamb karani with onion bhaji rice and a Wayfarer's all day breakfast for morning. Another thanks to my dad for getting me that for Christmas. That'll do the job just nicely in the morning. And with it being a 4 chili, Tactical Duck is keeping a close eye on the baby whites for morning. Oh, if you know, you know. Got my jet boil, 3 Heineken Zeros left and my coffee cup. All in all, a banging setup on a banging pitch. Like I say, I'm really happy with this tonight. Haven't seen many people pass, no sign of any other wild campers, so it looks like I've got the spot to myself for the whole night. I've decided to get in the tent. I've been sat out for a while now and it's almost 5 o'clock and we're losing the light rapidly. Although that wind isn't strong, it is as sharp as a knife. And I started to get cold. Got the down pants on, got the down boots on, and I'm starting to warm up a bit. I'll just show you outside the tent before I close the door. You can see what I mean, the light's going, that mist's getting lower. A cracking view of the reservoir out my tent. And the last remnants of snow as well. And I am on a slight pitch as well, so I've slid all the way to the backside of my tent. I'm looking forward to a nice peaceful night. Nobody else here, so I've definitely got the spot to myself. And it's just about time to fire the jet boil up and have my tea. I couldn't wait any longer. I'm absolutely Hank Marvin. Jet boil's on, food's in, vents open, just to be on the safe side. 15 minutes and it's bear time. Boy, am I looking forward to this. As I said before, 4 chili lamb karahi with onion bhaji rice. It's a bit top heavy on the rice. Give it a bit stir about. Tasty that. I might regret the 4 chili part of it in the morning. maybe that's a bit too much information. That is superb. If you haven't tried these Mylar bags yet, I highly recommend them. Do your home cooked food. It's got the press seal on it, and then you buy the sealer, the heat sealer, seals them up so it won't pop or burst in your bag, unless you're excessively rough, that is. Home cooked food at camp. Right, I'm going to finish stuffing my face. We'll see you in a bit. Well, I really enjoyed that food. It's about 20 minutes since I've had it, and I'm still sweating. I've had to take my hat off. While I was sitting out, I did manage to get my drone up. However, with the weather that we've had recently, it's been that long since I've had the drone up. DJI have logged me out of my account. And guess what? No signal here, so I couldn't log in. So the furthest I could go away from myself, horizontally or vertically, was 50 metres. Never mind. I did manage to get a little bit of footage for you. I can't imagine there's going to be much else happening. It's quite a quiet camp, a nice chilled camp. Not a summit one, but these kind of camps I always feel really cosy, like you're getting a hug off the mountain. So it's been a nice, relaxing, enjoyable camp so far. So I'm going to jump in my sleeping bag, I'm going to do a bit of editing, and then I'm going to get my head down. Unfortunately, I need to be away in the dark in the morning. I've got to get home very quickly. Unfortunately, we lost a family member last week, and my wife's having to go down country to the funeral. So I need to get back and see her before she heads off. Enjoy the photos and drone footage I've got for you overnight, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning everyone. It is currently 4 o'clock in the morning and I've had just shy of 8 hours sleep in the tent, so I must have needed it. Temperatures overnight have dipped down to below freezing. I've got my jet boil on at the moment for the breakfast and I had a little bit of water left, maybe an inch, 2 inch left in the bottom of my jet boil, and that was frozen solid this morning. As I mentioned last night, I do need to get myself home quickly this morning, so Going to grab me breakfast. There'll be no messing around this morning. It's going to be eat that, get packed up, and get myself back to the car. No sitting around waiting for sunrise, I'm afraid. Yeah, the inside of the tent is frozen as well. Oh, that's better. I've also got a couple of people coming around to the house today. I've had some items that I'm no longer using on the Facebook Marketplace, so it looks like they've sold. I'm in two minds as to whether to get a new tent or to upgrade my recording equipment. I've been looking at the Osmo Action 5 Pro with the new DJI mic, which is wireless, and I've been looking at the QEU Stormstar 2. I don't know, what do you guys reckon? Drop me a comment below, let me know what you think. New camera and mic or a new tent? Right, like I say, no messing around this morning. I'm going to get this finished and then get packed up. It's now bang on 5:30 in the morning, and as you can see, it's still pitch dark, but that is me packed up and ready to head back to the car. See, we've had quite a hard ground frost, so you can clearly see where my tent was. Nothing left behind there. Even the parts of my rucksack that was sticking outside got frosty. My rubbish bag there, and my tent was that frosty and wet, I've put it on the outside of my pack so nothing inside gets wet. It was only forecast to get down to about 2 or 3 Celsius last night, so I wasn't expecting such a hard frost, although I wasn't cold once I was inside my tent. And Muggins here has managed to leave his head torch at home, which made packing up a little slower than was ideal. I was having to use my recording light to see where I was going, so that's what I'm going to have to use to get back to the car, which is where I'm going to sign the video off. Well, I've made good time there, 25 minutes exactly to get back, and the car's frozen solid, so I'm just going to sit here for a couple of minutes, let it thaw out. Yeah, look at that, absolutely frozen solid. Well, thank you guys very much for joining me on this one. I was doing a bit of editing last night and I was a little bit aware that it might have come across like I was having a rant, and that is most definitely not the case. You know, I've got the utmost respect for Henry Shires and TarpTent. You know, they make a fantastic tent, but as a customer I am just pointing out a weakness. You know, it's a 4-season tent that costs a lot of money, so in my honest opinion that shouldn't be happening. Hopefully Henry sees this. I'm not going to send him any more emails, I'm not going to tag him in anything, because that is just not me. I've made my point, but I hope he gets to see it and realises that, you know, it's time to hold his hand up and admit he's wrong. I know I'm right. I work in research and development and testing. You know, I work with designs and stuff all day where we come up with solutions, and that tent's got a flaw, man. So yeah, enough of that. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video as much as I have. So once again, until next time, stay safe, much love from a Cumbrian lad.